This is the regular meeting of the City Council, Tuesday, September the 9th. Please stand for our invocation, led by Pastor Tony Laguerre, Public Safety Chaplain, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. I'd like to greet everyone on behalf of the great, strong Mobile Police Department. Good morning to everyone. Let's pray. Our Father, we give thanks to you for a wonderful day that you've made, and we submit ourselves to you, and we pray, dear God in heaven, have mercy upon us. We pray, too, that you would find us available, wanting to be instruments of your hand. I pray that today you'd favor our leaders. May we all have your mind, and may our decisions reflect your good name and character. You're welcome here, Spirit of God, we pray in Christ's name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll. Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Daves. Here. Councilmember Woods.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody this morning. Welcome to our September the 9th, 2025 meeting. At this meeting, we do have rules. At this time, I ask if anyone have any type of electronic device, including cell phones, please at this time put on the off or the vibrate position, Any person that desiring to address the Mobile City Council must sign in indicating the ordinance, the resolution, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing this council, the speaker must give his or her name. Any person that desiring to speak on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. on Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject that he or she wishes to express to the Mobile City Council must be identified pertaining to the City of Mobile business. Anyone who has not given proper notice to the city clerk office and wishes to speak on a non-agenda item will not be allowed to address this council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address this council. A bell will indicate the sound of the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause or public outcry allowed. Madam Clerk.
Communications from Mayor Stimson.
Yeah, Council President, I'll be making comments on behalf of the mayor who was unable to be here, but he brings greetings to everybody present. Today, we will be introducing the vacant building ordinance, the vacant buildings for the downtown area, mainly because they create a public safety issue and they stifle the development of our downtown business district and entertainment. These types of public safety issues include fire hazards, they attract crime, and they create more blight within our downtown area. Too many people have invested too much in downtown to let it continue. This is not a punitive action by the city, but we want to incentivize the owners of the property to improve the properties or put them back into productive use. This is not a new concept. Vacant building registries are common tools used across the country, particularly in historic cities like the city of Mobile. Developed in coordination with Mobile Police, the Mobile Fire Department, and the Downtown Alliance. This is important for our city and for the future of the development of the downtown area. Thank you for your consideration. We're happy to answer any questions. We have people here that can answer those questions related to this ordinance. I have several proclamations, but first I would like to have the Public Works Employee of the Month, Cynthia Lee Callahan, activity specialist, leads art programs for the Mobile Parks and Recreation Department, who also made the replica of the Civic Center. Lanisha Penn will recognize Lee.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the administration, city council, and others present at this forum. It is an honor to recognize someone who has had an incredible impact on both Mobile Parks and Recreation and our community center that we serve. As an employee of the month, Cynthia Callahan, as many of you may know her as Lee, For the past 3 years, Lee has worked as an activity specialist at La Verada Art and Cultural Center, where her creativity and passion has touched the lives of so many, especially our youth. She has created the Porch Parade during Mardi Gras with our youth and helped teens create many floats. Our global night event that brought the community together through the celebration of all cultures. Lee has consistently gone above and beyond and fostered inclusivity and creativity. Her international fashion event, which highlighted the cultures dress of various countries, is just another example of how Lee has encouraged everyone to celebrate what makes us uniquely different but together. Through all of her programs, Lee has inspired others to connect, create, and appreciate the diversity that makes our community special. Lee, your enthusiasm and dedication continues to leave a lasting impact on our department and beyond. Thank you for all that you do.
I just want to say thank you, and it's a pleasure and privilege to serve my community. Thank you.
For the Moon Pie over Mobile, can I get people from the members of the Events Mobile Board? Cassandra McAvoy, the Vice President, and Councilman Fred Richardson, is he present?
He is. Good morning, members of the council. My name is Cassandra McAvoy, and I'm Vice President of Events Mobile. We have a full house today. I was really shocked. I was voluntold that I would be speaking this morning. Thank you, Shonda Smith. But anyway, we are happy to announce this year's performing act, and for that, we have the one and only, the legendary Mr. Moon Pie himself, Mr. Fred Richardson. All right.
Good morning to all. With the absence of Mayor Stimpson, to Council President Small, to my council member Corey Penn, to council members Carol Reynolds, Dave Woods, and Gregory, I am excited to stand before you today on behalf of Events Mobile's board to make a huge announcement regarding the 18th annual Moon Pie Drop. It was President Small who asked the board not to wait until a month before the event to make the announcement of the main attraction. We are here this morning to honor your request. Let me inform all of you that the Mobile Annual Moon Pie Drop, according to USA Today in 2024, ranked number 9 among all New Year's Eve events in America. We have come a mighty long ways. Last year it was country and western. Trent Black rocked the house. This year the genre is R&B, rhythm and blues, and the board selected a R&B group whose leader was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, graduated high school with Prince, and they started out playing in the same band. If you love Prince, you will love the main attraction for the Moon Pie Drop this year. So for the Moon Pie, for the announcement, watch the screen.
devastated. What this girl, she sees me. Think she's trying to figure me out. She can be my queen. Well, got a noise. Give me what I want. Have you heard? We got sexy new dances called bird. Don't need no finesse and no personality. Just lead to I'm in the attitude. And everybody saying, come on, y'all. I've been watching you. I think I want to know you. I said, I'm a little dangerous. Girl, I'd love to show you. My tongue love. I think I want to know you. Trouble love. Yeah. Girl, I'd love to show you. Wait a minute.
All right now, all right. What you got to say about Mars Day and the time? You got to say it's going to be exciting. It's not going to be a dull moment. Now, we are expecting you to join us in the cutting of the world's largest edible moon pie at 7:30. Then we're going to join the parade to march down to the stage. And we're going to go up on the stage at 8:30 to welcome a record crowd to our great city. Stay tuned for extra announcements. We're planning for everybody to have a great time. And in closing, Mobile was born in 1702. By 1703, we celebrated Mardi Gras. We know how to have fun. Fun is in our DNA. So all you got to do is show up. We're going to have fun waiting on you if you show up. So come join the fun on New Year's Eve at the Moon Pie Stage, downtown Mobile. We're looking for all of you to be there. Thank you very much. And I would like for the entire board to stand. They are awesome. Thank you very much.
Former Councilman Richardson, since you are making fulfilling requests from the president of the council, I have one more request.
What you got?
We need you to do the Mars Day dance on the stage when it's time to do it on New Year's Eve, you know.
I'm saving that for New Year's Eve.
That's what we want you to do. Thank you so much, man.
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn.
I just want to thank my Councilman Richardson, for the vision to have the moon pie drop. And that's what it's about. So I want to just thank you to the entire board for making this happen. And Councilman Richardson, I will join you on the stage doing the bird.
Yeah, and I believe it too. You're that legend.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm looking for all of the council members on the
Mr.
stage.
President,
Mr. Davis.
since this is my last time to
Yeah,
sit
you
here
got to come, Joe.
to listen to Councilman Richardson's preview of coming attractions for the Moon Pie Drop, I want to say again that while Councilman Richardson was on the council, he and I agreed sometimes, we disagreed sometimes.
That's right. We never fell out.
That's right. We never fell out. And he's a great guy to take a long trip in a car with, which I have done. But when he first came up with this Moon Pie Drop idea, I thought it was the nuttiest thing I'd ever heard in my life. But he was absolutely right. You and the team have done a fantastic job with. It's just absolutely incredible. Great idea. Great job done. Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. Thank you very much.
I have a couple of proclamations. The first one will be National Sickle Cell Awareness Month. The attendees are Dr. Artie Pack-Mabian, Director of the University of South Alabama's Johnson Haynes Jr., MD, Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center. If I could have him come down. Also, Dr. Antoine Hogue, Medical Director of the Sickle Cell Center, and Dr. Humayun Imran, Pediatric Hematology and Oncology Division Chief. Get them. And proclamation reads that whereas sickle cell disease refers to a group of inherited disorders which a person inherits two abnormal genes and the body produces abnormally shaped red blood cells that resemble a crescent or a sickle. And whereas a sickle cell disease affects approximately 100,000 Americans and an estimated 5,000 Alabamians. And whereas while there is no widely available cure for sickle cell disease, bone marrow transplantation and gene therapies, including gene editing therapeutic approaches, may offer potential cures for some patients. And whereas the Johnson Haynes Jr., MD, Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center at the University of South Alabama, USA Department of Pediatrics, Hematology, Oncology, and the Mobile chapter of Sickle Cell Disease Association of America work hand in hand to provide comprehensive care and support to sickle cell patients to ensure quality care and access to needed resources close to home. Now, therefore, I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby officially proclaim September 2025 as Sickle Cell Disease Awareness Month in the City of Mobile, done at the City of Mobile, Alabama, this 9th day of September 2025, signed William S. Stimson.
Good morning, and thank you. In the state of Alabama, to bring it home, 2002 estimates indicate that sickle cell disease affects approximately 2,500 to 5,000 individuals. Each year in the state of Alabama, the Alabama Department of Public Health Newborn Screening Program diagnoses 50 to 60 newborns with sickle cell trait. All NCAA student athletes must provide their schools with documented results from a previous sickle cell test, or they must undergo testing during their participation in their pre-sports medical examination. The concern is that during intense exercise, athletes with sickle cell trait have experienced significant physical distress, collapse, or even death. This policy was implemented in 2010. In 2024, the most recent data available, 2,103 newborns were diagnosed with sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait, as reported by the Alabama Department of Public Health and approved by the Bureau of Clinical Laboratories. This is an increase when compared to 2022, with 1,788 newborns. Of the 2,103 newborn born with sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait in the state of Alabama, 381 were from Mobile County. 81% were African Americans, 12% were Caucasian, 2.4% Hispanics, and less than 1% were biracial. Research studies suggest babies born with sickle cell disease in the United States will survive to adulthood. The economic burden of sickle cell disease among pediatric and adult patients is substantial, with increased healthcare costs, resource utilization, and costs. However, better treatment for sickle cell disease could reduce its economic burden for patients as well as payers. On behalf of the University of South Alabama, Dr. Johnson Haynes Jr., Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center, the University of South Alabama Pediatric Hematology Oncology Division, the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Mobile, and the more than 500 individuals that we treat for sickle cell. Thank you to the Mayor of Mobile and the City Council for acknowledging and recognizing sickle cell disease.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much for what you all do in the community. Thank y'all.
This is also the Mobile Public Library Library Card Sign-Up Month, and the proclamation attendees are Ms. Jeray Hall, Library Director, and Mrs. Brenda Jackson, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees. Also attending are various library branch managers, if we could have all of them come down for their proclamation. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas libraries are foundational to education, imagination, and opportunity, offering everything from early literacy programs to digital tools that support lifelong learning and personal growth. And whereas libraries welcome all people, serving as community hubs that connect individuals across cultures, generations, and experiences. And whereas libraries curate collections and design programs that reflect the populations they serve, ensuring access to information, technology, and culture for everyone. And whereas libraries help individuals navigate life's challenges by providing trusted information, digital access, job search support, and connections to essential services. And whereas a library card opens doors to endless possibilities from books and technology to lifelong learning and imagination. And whereas we encourage all residents to sign up for free library card at your local Mobile Public Library branch and explore the endless possibilities they offer. Now, therefore, I, William S. Stimpson, 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby officially proclaim September 2025 as Library Card Sign-Up Month in the City of Mobile, done at the City of Mobile, Alabama, this 9th day of September 2025, signed William S. Stimpson.
Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Jeray Hall, and I am the Library Director for the Mobile Public Library System, and I'm so excited to be here and to share. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month. I've been before you before to talk about our resources and things that benefit our community, but this month specifically is the month to get your library card. Endless possibilities are there. Really quickly, I want to recognize our board chair. This is Ms. Brenda Jackson, and then some other very important people who are here with us behind me. Our branches are represented, as well as community groups, and so I want to make sure that I share that information with you too. The Sims Women's Club, as well as a representative, Madam President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is here as well. And if someone within the sound of my voice here today would like to get a card today, you are more than welcome to do that with Mr. Christopher Cox, who is here from the Ben May Library, so out in the atrium. So thank you so much for this proclamation and for helping us celebrate a wonderful resource in the community.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Penn.
I just want to give a big shout out to the Mobile Public Library. The work that they're doing is just truly amazing. I have a card, and I had to utilize the service multiple times last week. I had to pull up to the Tomerville branch, and so it's just I just commend seeing the young people in there doing their homework, seeing all the different programs taking place from poetry.
Yes, sir.
It's just amazing. So thank you so much for your service.
Yes, sir. One final comment, a new partnership that we have launched this month with the Mobile Chamber of Commerce. It's on their webpage. Endless possibilities for businesses, professional development courses, hundreds, free, online, Excel, Google, so many different resources. You simply go to our website and you can access the digital resources as well as what we offer in 11 locations, including our bookmobile. So thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Penn.
And thank you all again.
Council President, that'll conclude the mayor's remarks.
Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Today it's my pleasure to have the greatest high school in the world here. And most of you all know what high school that is. John L. LaFleur High School, John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. And so I would like to acknowledge Commissioner McDade, who's in the house. Can we give Commissioner McDade a big hand, who represents? Commissioner was my educator, and that's why it's so important to listen to your teachers and be present. And so thank you so much for the work that you have done so many years in our community. We also have Dr. Williams here, the principal of John L. LaFleur. Ms. McCullum, the assistant principal. And so I just want to thank everybody that came out today. So it's my pleasure to give a certificate to these young people, the Advanced Placement Scholars. They are Taylor Andrews. Can we give Taylor a big hand? All right, Taylor, you can come down to the podium right here. Jemiah Robbins. Janaya Wooten. And Malaysia Gordon. Now, Malaysia received with honors earning a 3 or higher, at least of 4 of the AP exams. So awesome job. Josh Wicks. Josh also received with honors earning a 3 or higher on at least 4 AP exams. To be named an AP scholar, a student must earn a score of 3 or higher, at least on 3 advanced placement exams. These students are our future and our now. The next generation of leaders will make a difference in this world. And that is why I'm here to support you through any education journey that you might have. Let's celebrate these scholars, and congratulations to you all. Malaysia. What's that? Oh, Janai. Okay. Jamai. Look. Now, guys, they so perfect. They came in order of the certificates. I didn't even have to do anything. All right, can we turn around there? We're going to take a picture. All right, let me scoot in. Dr. Williams, would you like to be in? Commissioner McDade, you'll come down, take a picture? If you want to. Now, you look at me like, look, that was the teacher look. Like, Corey, leave me be. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Doctor, will you have anything you want to say? No, thank you. Okay, Commissioner, you have anything you want to say? Okay, all right.
Yeah, congratulations, young ladies.
That orange and green just look amazing. I don't know about y'all. I just love them 2 colors.
It looked like you're a blunt on now today.
Look, I represented for the moon pie. The moon pie drop, I sit on the board. Don't start with me, President Smile. All right, so I have one more proclamation. Can I get the National Ceasefire Day? Everyone that's with them, Vito, Vaughn. Do you have anybody else? Okay. Today I have a proclamation. Whereas National Ceasefire Day is a powerful grassroots initiative aimed at curbing gun violence, especially among youth. This calls for a collective reflection on unity, action, and to end the cycles of violence that have deeply impacted our neighborhoods. And whereas the White Flag Movement mission is to dismantle the generation and cultural stereotypes, foster safe communities, and equip citizens with conflict resolution, critical thinking, and a life-saving tool. And whereas this initiative have grown to receive recognition not only across the city of Mobile, but surrounding counties, but in cities and states through the county. It has been instrumental in launching and supporting several community-based organizations that align with shared goals of peace, healing, and systematic change. And whereas the White Flag Movement not only demonstrate leadership in the fight against gun violence, but also uplift and empower the voices of those who are striving daily to rebuild neighborhoods from within. And now, therefore, I, Councilman Corey Penn of District 1, and the members of the Mobile City Council do hereby proclaim that October the 6th, 2025, as National Ceasefire Day, done here September the 9th, October the 25th. Can we give Vaughn a big hand? Thank you so much for all the service.
Yeah, I'm speechless right now. This has been like 10 years in the making. One of my long-term goals, always one day to be able to create a National Ceasefire Day in hopes of saving our future generations. So, I mean, I'm actually lost for words. I'm a man of many words, but I'm lost for words right now. I thank you all. I thank public safety in the city for giving me an opportunity to show that what I'm trying to do is possible. Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Reynolds.
today we're joined by the Tillman's Corner Area Learning Leaders Program and Tina Peru with TAL and the Southwest Mobile County Chamber of Commerce. She's the executive director. And for those of you who don't know, our Councilman Woods here is the president of the board for the Southwest Mobile County Chamber. It's always a pleasure when they come down. We get to visit with them. Chief Barber and Councilman Woods and I, we all had a good roundtable discussion. And what we learned in that discussion is every single one of them are aspiring to have a career that we need in the city of Mobile. So we're hopeful that you go out, get your higher education, and come back to the city of Mobile and get jobs for us. We have students here from Mary G. Montgomery, McGill-Tulin, Baker, St. Luke's, UMS Wright, Alma Bryant, Theodore High School, Mobile Christian, and Cottage Hill Christian Academy. I want to say thank you all for being the future leaders that we need in this city. Please take advantage of this opportunity that society provides you to learn everything you can possibly learn so that when you do enter the workforce, you'll be able to handle anything that's put in front of you. Thank you for being good students. Also, we have Tyler Rowland with Faith Academy. He's a senior at Faith Academy. He's down here seeing how his municipal government works. He's shadowing some folks today. Hopefully, I'll get to spend some additional time with him to show him around my messy office. So thanks for being here, Tyler.
Good to have you.
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Second. Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have a request for a waiver of the noise ordinance on October the 25th on Government Street.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Appeal passes.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to consider the modification of a previously approved planning approval and a previously approved plan unit development for property located at 3610 and 3720 Michael Boulevard.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Today is the public hearing to declare the structures at 1606 Katy Street, 270 Oak Drive, 506 Patton Avenue, public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said items. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on these items? If not, these public hearings are closed.
Today is the public hearing to consider adoption of the 2025-2026 General Fund and Capital Improvement Fund budgets.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on these items? So you may come down to the podium by stating your name.
My name is Randy Reed. I was a 39-year employee of the city of Mobile for the fire department. I am currently retired, but I'm here on the for the Firefighters Retiree Association. I would like to say that we had heard that there might be a price increase on insurance is what I'm concerned about, but I also heard that or we've heard that that maybe a council member had stated that we would not be covered in this, or it would not apply to the retirees. I would like to have that addressed or answered if I could. But first, I would like to bring highlighted to the police and firefighters have a COLA for, I believe it's about 19 across the board years since they've had a COLA for them. I think it was 2005. There was a partial one in 2008. But anyway, it's a long time. They haven't got nothing zip. You know, these retirees, some of them retired with 25 years plus. They currently left out making less than what your entrance level pay is right now. And they only bring 75% or less of that home with them. They shop in the same grocery stores. They buy their gas at the same gas stations. And their power is figured on the same rate as current employees and everyone else. It's very tough. They were frontline employees of the city, and they were subject to the worst conditions that society has around here, and the trauma from that has taken a toll on them mentally and physically. If we can please find a way to correct this tragedy, I ask you to please don't contribute to their adversary by compounding additional costs to their thin monthly budgets. I would like to ask on behalf of the retirees that you, the city council and administration, would you strongly consider a cost of living raise for the retirees? Thank you.
Mr. Scott, can you address about just the insurance? You can have a seat, sir.
Yes, sir. So there was, I apologize. Yes, sir. So there was a document that the mayor signed last week that includes a slight increase on employees' health insurance across the board for retirees and current employees. I believe the range of increases monthly ranges from around $10 a month to around $36 a month. I apologize, I don't have that document in front of me, but I believe that's accurate. We can distribute that out to the council members today for consideration. We received that, and we have a one-pager that just outlines those changes, and it's in HR right now. I can distribute that to you.
Vice President.
Is that reflected in the budget?
So in the budget, we did not increase our costs. There were some changes to how we calculate health insurance, and we are covered with the health insurance. That document was signed after this budget was submitted to you. So there is a slight change in what the employees pay, but that is not reflected in here. It's revenue neutral as it relates to the budget itself.
Yeah, because I think I'm the person who asked the question about insurance benefits and any increase in costs. And
Correct.
I think we were told no when we had our earlier meetings.
That is correct. In the budget, there is no impact
none.
for that. And I can submit to you the document that shows the changes across the board. Again, that's in HR today. And I can distribute that out to everyone this afternoon, actually, as soon as we leave this meeting.
But would that then require us to amend the budget in order to?
No, ma'am, that would not have any effect on the budget as presented. That will be separate from that. The city's costs are what the city's costs are. So there would be no budgetary impact to that. It was just a change in what the employees would pay for their cost.
A follow-up on that is, would that not require an approval from the council before the costs are increased? Are you saying it's just done by policy?
I'm not aware to that. It's my understanding that that would be, that the legal provision of that is that can be done by the mayor through administrative policy. I'm not aware that that will go through the city council. However, I'm not city's legal staff. It's just my understanding that that is administrative right of the mayor.
I've always thought it was a contract change that the council had to approve.
No.
Okay.
So the executive director of finance is correct about that. You have to remember that the executive authority of the mayor deals with all city employees in alignment. And so if we were changing the actual, if we changed some major contract, Ms. Gregory would be correct. But if we're dealing directly with employees or former employees, that falls within line and scope of the executive branch.
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn.
do we know the total amount of cost this would for taking that up? How much is that?
Memory alone, I believe we're talking somewhere around $800,000 a year.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Ms. Reynolds.
So this that was brought up regarding the retirees, the firefighter retirees, would affect the amount of premium that they pay out of their pocket, not any contribution coming from the city. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's
okay.
That's correct.
All right. And it would only affect those retirees who are not currently on Medicare. Correct.
Correct. It would only affect the employees that are on the city's
Okay.
insurance.
All right. And the other question regarding the cost of living raise. Have we evaluated the cost, the budget impacts, both short-term and long-term, for the increase to a cost of living raise?
So
at 2%, 5%, whatever rates there are.
It's a bit of a complicated question in that obviously those retiree, the benefits paid to the retirees are paid through by the pension fund.
Okay.
So there would have to be some conversation about what happens to the recurring annual if that were to take place. In other words, if there was a raise for retirees, there's going to be an actuarial study that would tell us what the small percentage difference would be that the city would have to pay going forward each year. I believe that document is prepared, and we have that at the pension board. We can get that information to you.
I think that would be helpful to us because they're, obviously getting hit with an additional healthcare cost, and then haven't, gotten a raise in the pension for 19 years, I believe is what he said. And we are now in this budget cycle retiring that unfunded liability, if everything goes to plan, in 2026, which should sort of lay the foundation to sort of address some of these long-term issues that have existed for a long period of time. I know we're sort of thin in our budget this year. We're really sort of having to press some categories, so I don't know that it's possible. But if it is possible, I think it's worthwhile for us to consider and try to make happen. I don't know what the total dollar amount would be. Do you have any idea what the dollar amount would be to, say, increase the pensioners' cost of living by 2%?
I'm sorry, I don't have
Just
that
don't.
number. I can tell you it'd be relatively small. I don't think that would be a large impact, just
Okay.
based on the percentage and the number of active retirees.
I think we should probably include some of that discussion within our current budget discussion. And so those documents that we can get from the board, I think would be helpful to our overall budget discussion as we consider, passing this current budget. If you could get that for us, that'd be very helpful.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President,
Mr. Days.
A couple of points I think need clarification. The first is that the unfunded pension liability will not be paid off in the upcoming fiscal year. It will be paid off, but at the end of the upcoming fiscal year. We've allocated, what, $16 million in the budget?
Yes, sir, in fiscal year
And that's
26.
in the upcoming fiscal year. When we've expended that $16 million, the unfunded liability will be paid off, assuming nothing happens in the markets. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So I just don't want anybody to think there's room in this budget by savings in the what we were paying on the unfunded liability to do something like is being discussed. The other thing that I'd like to point out is that you have to look at not just if you do something like this, it's not just an expense in the fiscal year in which you do it. It is a perpetual expense. It is a perpetual expense over which you have no control. Because once you start it, you're not going to be able to undo it. So I think if the council is going to spend some time looking into doing this, a cost of living raise for the retirees, a lot of time and study needs to put into it before that decision is made.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
I completely agree with what Councilman Dave says, that every dollar we spend in salary or anything today creates a long-term obligation within the pension, and that there is, in fact, substantial discussion that needs to be had in this term about, once we fund this unfunded liability, there will still obviously be payments that need to be made, maintenance sort of payments based on performance of the market. But I think it's worthwhile, while we're discussing budget, to go ahead and sort of open that can of worms, and let's start understanding it now with more clear eyes, so that when we do become, positioned better, that we can actually tackle it and, correct this longstanding, shortcoming.
Mr. President.
Chief.
Yeah, the administration's already been in discussions with the pension board, or the members of certain members of the pension board, on this and other issues. The unfunded liability, the last payment is being made. That was a 30-year amortization. What the administration position was, and we're 100% behind studying, they're contacting the actuary to find out what that impact would be on the pension plan. I think 2007 was the last time that we did anything. And it wasn't just police and fire, it was all city employee retirees, because it was hinged on what the state legislature did as far as the state employees. And I know that law has changed within the legislature, had changed it with a new bill that addresses COLAs, but I think gives more discretion to the municipalities or whoever participates in that plan. We don't have all the answers. We do agree with studying this and what that impact may be. Especially given that the pension plan now would be, the unfunded liability would be fully funded. But we do see the need on both. We do think that we need an actuary study on what that cost of living adjustment would actually do.
Mr. President.
It was wrong.
I appreciate that. And I just want everybody to understand that this is a team effort that has to happen if we're going to cross this bridge. This is not a sole council action or a sole administrative action that, we've got to work together to get it done. So I don't want to paint the wrong picture that, we have this ability up here just to fund it or pull something from one item and put it in another. It still has to be, the check still has to be written. Just because we pass it, they still, we can't make them spend the money. So it's a team effort, and I look forward to working through that issue over this next term.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join in with my colleagues in stating the same thing. I think it's vital that we provide the resources that's needed to our retirees that gave so much for our community, so much to our city. So I think I commend the administration and are already working towards that, trying to come up with a study. And I love to see that, so we can go on and start preparing and get ready for a situation like that. So thank you, Mr. President.
Okay.
Mr. President.
Vice President.
I do just want to go back and make sure I understood you, Scott. So the savings of the insurance increase, did you tell us what that was? Was that the 800,000, or was that's 800,000 savings on the insurance increase?
Yes, that's correct.
And that just goes back into the general fund?
That is correct.
Okay. Still have a bit of an issue with that. Piggybacking on Mr. Reynolds and Penn, while we're talking about the studies and what to do going forward, that also is part of the filling the gap, the issue that we have heard so much about recently from our public safety officers. So in these studies, we need to be looking at that as well.
Yeah, for clarity, the gap that Councilwoman Gregory is referring to is the Horizon employees that have came on since 2015, and it's the gap between retirement age and Medicare age. And so we are looking at that. Again, that was part of the meeting that we had with the pension board. And there is an actuarial study to look at our historics and what impact, if any, that would do. And so there's actually multiple things that are being looked at. I will tell you this, and working with the pension board, all of these studies are very mindful that whatever we do when we get fully funded, we don't create an unfunded liability. That we have to make sure the plan can fund these things, which is why we're doing the studies. And so when the market meets expectations, which is about a 7% return, or the market overperforms, there has to be that give and take between the pension plan, because we definitely do not, and I don't think the retirees want us to get in a situation where we have this huge unfunded liability for future administrations to deal with.
Mr. President,
Mr. Davis.
a part of any discussion along these lines, the thing to remember about a defined benefit pension plan is that how much you have to contribute, if you're the sponsor of the plan, to the plan every year depends on how the underlying assets in the plan are doing. Now, we've benefited from the fact that we've had a consistently, well, almost consistently, rising stock market. But I would remind everyone that the stock market is at an all-time high. The likelihood that it's going to continue on this rise is much less than the likelihood that we will see a retraction. So we need to be very, very careful about adding more liabilities to the defined benefit pension plan or to the other retirement plans.
All right. Again, this is the public hearing for the 25-26 General Fund and Capital Improvement Fund budget. Anyone else would like to address the council on the budget? You may so come down to the podium by stating your name.
Good morning. My name is Jabaria Dent. I'm with the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Alabama. And I just want to start by saying thank you. I know you don't hear that a lot in opening comments, but thank you, because historically, the city of Mobile has been a very generous investor in the futures of Boys and Girls Club. We currently receive approximately $350,000 from the general budget every year. This in the past has accounted for approximately 10% of our annual budget and has allowed us to serve in 2024 1,749 young people. However, that still leaves 14,000 young people between the ages of 8 and 16 every day without supervision and without a safe space to go within our city. And so we've taken up the mantle and the challenge to expand our impact with a goal of reaching 6,000 young people over the next 3 years. But we need your help to do that, because to triple our impact also requires that we triple our budget, that we triple our staff, that we triple our infrastructure. And so I've put together a portfolio that allows us to partner with public and private, because we understand that the city cannot carry all of the burden of public good and public interest. And so we're partnering with private and individual entities, with foundations, and hopefully with the county government as well, but we need your help. And so one of the things that we're starting is a Bridges to Great Futures, which will allow us to serve 5 middle schools over the next 3 years. But that will require an additional investment totaling $600,000, of which we would ask that the city help with a third of that cost, which would be an additional $200,000 per year. We've raised the $200,000 from the school system, and we've raised another $200,000 from private entity. But we need your help to help with that. So anything that you can give as you look at your general allocation and where you're funding to help Boys and Girls Clubs of South Alabama would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your time.
Morning. My name is Brooke Miller. I'm a citizen in District 3. My question is, I wasn't able to attend. Normally when I contact the city, you notice sometimes that often departments are understaffed or need more staffing. My question is in regard to Public Works. Was there an increase in salaries for services like city services and contracted amounts? And if so, is the amounts, try to say, is the city services increase for those for like your large debris, and then in those in the newly annexed areas, is that the contracted employees that would be providing those services, and was there an increase in the budget for those?
The answer for public employees of the city, there's a 2.5% merit step increase that's in the budget that you are considering now. As far as the contractor, the private contractor doing the garbage and trash pickup in the annexation area, that fee is set by contract for 3 years. This is the year 3. It's been extended for 3 years, and there are no price changes.
That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council on this particular said item?
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. The material that I'm going to provide today is based on the information that was given at the Finance Committee meeting. So if there is anything that I misunderstood, oh, my apologies. Reggie Hill, you need to address to it. Okay. And if there's anything that I missed or that was not added, or there has been some additional information that has been provided, maybe similar to today, which is going to HR or something to that extent, please just correct me. Based on the material that I found, we have a $2.5 million increase to our sales tax, further proving that the majority of our funding stems from what the taxpayers contribute to the city of Mobile, whether that's a millionaire having a shopping spree or a 5-year-old purchasing some candy. We are given that tax based on the resources that we have, and so we're contributing that in an equitable sense, and I think it should be reflective of what we're doing. We see here in the CIP district miscellaneous that there's an additional remaining $20+ million. And I would like to advocate that those resources go towards districts 1 through 3. We know that the infrastructure there is a lot more outdated, needs the most attention. I think we can remain with the $4 million that goes across the boards to each of the other districts. That would keep the 7 districts there. But we're seeing where there's a serious overhaul needed because a lot of the components, let's see here, we're talking about revamping the other capital expenses. We see stuff with software initiatives. We see stuff with the municipal buildings, things of this nature. Those things can be held off when we're looking at drainage as being the most crucial part of what we're seeing in the city. And so that will give us $20 million with CIP, and we can keep the 4 in the districts. So we're looking at this piece about the Exhibit 2, which needs a serious look. I don't think there's an issue with the cruise terminal resources. I think that was a fair number, and that should be set. But where we're seeing a $400,000 allotment that's going towards nuisance abatement and demolitions, we saw a lot of houses on the public hearing agenda for today. We have no oversight with municipal enforcement, which allows us to see these properties before they start becoming dilapidated. Instead, we're saying we're going to put more money into tearing these structures down and then charging the citizens to have to pay for that. So I think that's something that we need to look to. As well, there's this new $100,000 for administration projects, this covenant for exterior signage with government. These type of things that we're seeing hundreds of thousands of dollars in increase. As well, we're continuously paying into the Maritime Museum, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We haven't gotten anything on the return for the investment that we put in this from years and years ago. And then there's these IT expansions or relocations and repairs that end up equaling additional $1 million+ that go into exhibits where we saw under $1 million being spent on these things in the previous year. As well as we look at this is the public service and safety. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because the line item is different here on this printout that was used in the PowerPoint. But it says that we're losing between the equipment of public works and public services $1.3 million. Now, that's quite alarming. And whereas we're increasing the equipment that's going to our legal department. Now, I find that very alarming seeing all of the third-party retainer fees that we have within the city of Mobile. I think we need to look at how we're spending that as well. Now, let me get into this piece of it here, which was quite alarming. And again, this is what was provided at the meeting, so if there's something that's missing, please let me know. I didn't see anything on here for performance contracts. Now, maybe that's been added to another allotment. I appreciate being enlightened about that. We know that that's very vital within our community for those services that go out. As well, we didn't see anything in here for discretionary spending for the 7 council districts. Now, I don't, and the way that this looks, it's like there's a decrease that's going to the council offices. So if there's something that's written differently, or I don't understand that, please let me know. And there's something that was increased nearly, what, 2 point something million for administrative services. Is this going towards like salaries? Because we know according to the Zarbia, we've already like just went past this cap of what we're supposed to be doing with hiring people within administration. So if that increase there for that $2 million for additional salaries, I think that's something that we really need to take a look at. Just rushing through this because we know time is not a lot to really go through all these matters with city business. I'm extremely glad to see that there'll be a 2.5 merit pay increase, as well as I'm extremely glad to see that we'll substantially be reducing the amount of vehicles that we're purchasing. That's something I've been crying out about for years, and so to see that acknowledged here in the budget, I'm appreciative of it. There are some other matters that I'm going to address when we have the time for speakers that have signed up. And if anyone can respond to any of those things, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd just recommend to Mr. Hill that you print out the budget that's on the website. It has all the performance contracts listed in there. I tried to follow along with you. I was having trouble, following along where those particular increases or decreases that you saw were. Be happy to talk with you after the meeting, try to better understand what you're requesting.
Okay. Is anyone else who would like to address the council on this budget, on this item? If not, this public hearing is closed. You had something on the budget? Okay. All right, Madam Clerk.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Sabrina Mass.
Ms. Mass is not here. Hold on 1 minute, Madam Clerk. Ma'am, what did you have?
That we had down the bay.
Is it on the council agenda?
I don't.
It's a property on the council agenda? What's the address?
901 Bay Avenue.
No. You need to sign up the Thursday before the council meeting. You would like to come down here by 2 o'clock with the city clerk office. If Ms. Brown, if you give her your card and just contact Ms. Brown, but you have to sign up in order to talk on a non-agenda item. But Ms. Brown, she'll help you out, okay?
Right.
Madam Clerk.
Anthony Maben.
Good morning, Antony Maben, Transit Union President. Over the last couple of months, we have heard several things about the transit system, and there are some concerns that we have as far as employees. Some of the concerns was discussed earlier this morning in the transit hearing, but there are some other things that we need to iron out and find out so we can go back and report to the employees at the transit system. One of the things that we would like to know is when VIA takes over, will the Wave Transit, will the current employees be affected in any type of manner? When VIA take over, will the current employees' accumulated time, such as sick, vacation, and personal time, be affected? Meaning, I'm understanding that they are talking about a payout, but you have some people that is maxed out with sick leave, and it's like 960 hours. These people have to start all the way back over again if you pay them out. Then if they are currently working with the company and they get sick, then they don't have any other time. So I have asked and pleaded about trying to roll this time over into at least a CD or something like that, or a IRA or something like that. So when these people get sick, they'll be able to use this bank of time. And then on that effect, when a person get paid out this time, then you also talking about putting that person in a higher tax bracket, because at the end of the year, you may go from $40,000 to $60,000 or $70,000. Then that's more taxes that you got to pay as far as at the end of the year. So all these things like this should be considered. Yes, we want our time, but just like they did years ago when they abolished the board, we got put into an escrow account for the pension plan and just sat there and drawed interest. Well, once the new plan started up, then those employees were put into the new retirement plan and they continue on. We understand that, we dissolving the wave transit system, but also we need to make it fair to the employees to where, what average person in the city of Mobile,
Got 1 minute.
okay, what average person in the city of Mobile will take a lot of money like that and put aside and bank it for if they got any issues. The other issues that we want to address is after June of 2026, what will happen to the employees then? As of now, the current contract and everything will stay in effect. But once after 2026, what's going to happen to the employees? Are they going to be laid off? Are they going to be set aside, given other assignments and things like that? So it's more to it than just, dealing with a budget.
All right, thank you, Mr. Maben. Mr. Scott, can you address some of those issues that Mr. Maben had came down?
Yes, sir. So I'll walk through. I'll try to take those in reverse order. So specific to the question about any layoffs after June of 2026, I had a conversation with VIA representatives after our 9 o'clock meeting. They in fact see the opposite. There's no provision to lay off any WAVE employees. In fact, their plan is specific to adding staff. So it would be the opposite of any layoff. It would be their effort to add staff as a part of the new operating structure. So the short answer to that, will WAVE transit employees be laid off after June of 26? The answer as of today is absolutely not. In fact, we'll add staff to that. Specific to the accrued leave, I had a follow-up conversation with that as well. And there were two things. One, the discussion is the payout of those current balances for the vacation leave for whatever that they've earned, they would be paid out for, specific and pursuant to the existing contract. Going on to October 1, when those employees become VIA transit employees, then they would continue to earn their vacation leave and sick time at the same accrual rates as they are now. They wouldn't all start over. So those accrual rates would follow you with your seniority. So if you're a more senior employee, you would continue to earn the higher vacation and sick leave rates. And those would go progressively up or down depending where you are on the seniority or longevity scale. So the only conversation there would be left would be the simple payout of those balances. It is currently the preference, as I understand it, from both VIA and Transdev that those balances be paid out with the final paycheck from First Trans or Transdev.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
Would you finish, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my question is that if we have the amount of money there to do a payout, what's the difference in moving that into account for vacation time or sick days? And the reason why I'm asking that is because, of course, what Mr. Maven talked about, but also if you get a person that had earned all this time and say some challenge happened in their family, yeah, the money is there, but they actually don't have the time to take off work and could be held responsible for policies and procedures because they say, well, you don't have enough time for work. Yeah, the money is there to provide the resources, but the time is not there. So what's the difference in just taking the amount of money that is going to be for the payout and then just moving it into account for those days?
So
let me answer that question. Go ahead if you want to deal with it, but I'll answer the legal parts of it because there are some differences for us. But go ahead.
So I'll take those in reverse order. On the VIA has communicated with their employees, my understanding, that any previously scheduled vacation time, things of that nature, are going to be honored. Obviously, holidays are coming up. People are already scheduled to take off. So they've agreed to adhere to all of those work schedules as they exist today. The question about the paying out or the holding of that really becomes the question about an accrued liability, to where if you simply transfer those dollars from Transdev to VIA, then there's going to be an accrued liability of cash that they have for that for the value of those. So it becomes more of an accounting question than a benefits question. I certainly understand the question. I think it's up for conversation, but it simply becomes who is going to be the holder of liability of the cash. The city of Mobile is currently not in that. Obviously, that's wholly owned by Transdev. It will be wholly owned by VIA. It's just a matter of discussion of how you transfer those dollars, whether you pay them out. The city has no preference. It's just been up to negotiation between the parties. Either way that it was determined would certainly be agreeable to the city. Again, those dollars and those liabilities are owned between Transdev and VIA.
Mr. President, second part of that, and Mr. Collins is correct. I think there's probably some wisdom in how the council originally set this up. And you have to remember two things. One, that the Transdev and VIA future employees are not public employees. And that's important because these are both private entities, and one's not taking the liabilities on of the other. I mean, that's not a standard practice. The city doesn't even do that. The reason that's important as far as the city council and the executive branch or the mayor's office is concerned is these are not our employees. And I think the questions are valid and we want to have those conversations. But the reason that it's set up like this is so that Transdev and or VIA can deal and collectively bargain with their private sector employees. Remember, municipalities don't collectively bargain with unions. And so in order to have those union protections that the employees have, which they will maintain, and in order to be able to collectively bargain and talk about their contracts, they have to remain private sector employees, not public sector like we would be involved in. That's number one. The second part of it, and I think, once again, valid questions that we're asking is, the way that we understand it is VIA is going to honor their vacation and is going to pay out, what they have. They will bring them in and they will have to deal with the union, not necessarily us. Will have to deal with what they get and what they're receiving as far as employee benefits are concerned. We can't really step into that realm very much. We're dealing with the employees, except for asking the questions and asking for an explanation, as you all have done here. It goes that far. But I do understand, and maybe VIA's lawyer may have a different answer, but as we understand it, we're not able to do all the things that we're asking to do, but we are able to ask the questions, and we are able to advocate on behalf of citizens that live here and happen to work for Transdev and are going to work for VIA.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
No, thank you, Mr. Woods, and thank you, Mr. Collins, for that, for answering the question. The second piece of the question, based on the information you shared, we had transitioned to different groups with transportation, correct?
Correct. That is
Okay.
right.
So when we transitioned from those different public with transportation, what happened during that time with the days?
Well, I can tell you I think it was likely before my time. I don't have the answer as I sit here right now. We can look.
Okay.
But what I can tell you is, as we deal with VIA, which is a private entity, and we deal with Transdev, private entity, we don't get to tell them. That's why it's a contract. That's why we have them as a contractor, and we don't get to interface or tell them what they're going to do and not do with their employees, save asking the question and getting answers like you are doing today, which is perfectly permissible. There's nothing wrong with asking the questions and looking for answers, and I'll get you the information you're asking about.
All right.
Kathy O'Keefe.
My name is Kathy O'Keefe, and I'm revisiting a recent policy problem, I think, that happened on the on something that, and we're trying to give you a handout. I don't want that to eat into my time. You have the handout with you. It starts with a picture of where the property is located that we're questioning. It's next to the CVS at Airport and University. And you remember the CVS was a contentious issue when that was rezoned. The CVS is closing tomorrow. It didn't make it. It was never supported by the public because the ingress and egress were just too unsafe to get out of. But that was rezoned by the judge at the time. So I'm here really to read into the public record where we stand on this so that we can go forward, those of us who were not included in the hearing before the judge where we should have been by law. So on May 14th, 2024, this council unanimously voted against the rezoning of residential property adjacent to that CVS. 3 very large pieces of property that Greg Sad wanted to turn into an office park, possibly with a bank. You heard our arguments, traffic study, residents' reports, and you unanimously supported that. You weren't the only ones. The future land use map of Mobile had that as staying residential. The planning department has for over 20 years advised that property to remain residential because we know that there would be a domino effect going down the hill towards Azalea Road to turn subsequent properties. So I was among those opposing the application. On July 24th, 2024, a month after that rezoning, a lawsuit was filed in circuit court to set aside your decision. For reasons unknown, neither you were notified, nor were any of us. We find that very troubling. The city attorney that was handling the case did not defend your decision, and in fact conceded the case, and I've given you a copy of that. As a result, on July 22nd, 2025, the judge ordered the council to rezone the property. And a month later, on August 22nd, 2025, Councilman Daves notified the neighborhood of the judge's decision, an entire month after it happened. And I attached the letter. So I have a question here, and then I'll step aside. Now that the council is aware that that the procedures were not followed, we were not included, you were not included, we are asking if you will take action to defend the decision that you made to deny rezoning of that property.
All right, thank you.
So, Mr. President, I can address that issue. So what we have here is active litigation. That case is still ongoing. At least 2 of the neighbors have filed to intervene in that case to pursue defending what the 7 of you all voted for. I do not think the city is going to have any objection to that intervention. And so the case will move on and the judge will have a second time to make a decision.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk.
Reggie Hill regarding resolutions 09-1169, 09-1170, 21-1150, and ordinance 52-046.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. On the 21-1150, I would like to see the same level of funding being put into MPD training. I would actually like to request an investigation into this as well, especially if it's going to be done towards OPR. We know how that power is abused within that department, so that's something we need to look at. 52046, since this is going to committee meeting, I will wait until we get some reference on that next week. So for the other 2 items, there appears to be huge unfunded liabilities based on this current budget. We want to look at it in a proper sense. But it was quite pleasing to see that $146,000 was given to increase for the parks and recs equipment. We expect to have $416 million to operate with in the upcoming fiscal year. There's a $9,345,391 increase to public safety, with a good sum of that going towards 24 new police positions, and $1.4 million going towards camera and video management assessment. This is not a prudent use of taxpayer dollars, and further proves our reactionary approach to community peacekeeping as opposed to a more proactive approach through increased social services and equal access to capital. I think it's very important that we know that we should be investing more resources into social services, police training, neighborhood development, housing, higher education, and collaborations. And I still stand on the idea of what I said before. We need to hold this thing over until after the 2025 municipal elections are done. And even with the sense of who is going to propose the budget, the runoff is with the mayoral race, reportedly. And so we have one individual who would I surely would want to do something different than what's being proposed. And then we have another individual who is on the commercial saying that we're going to have a theater. And I didn't see a theater in this budget anywhere. Now, some other things you said I can get with you about and talk, that's fine, but I don't see a theater on here. So these are things that we need to make sure that we're looking at. And I come down here quite often about these matters. I'm not sure if this is in the place before, but we saw this weekend where there were 100 tickets given, 47 warrants, and 3 arrests. We know that in the months of like June, March, December, these are the times where we're getting these quarterly referrals and getting the resources to come in because we budget to give people tickets in the city of Mobile. So if there's anything on there in this budget about that, please have this removed. So we know that this is going to come back up for next week. We know the time does not allow us to really discuss these matters, but please look at that. And then we need to know as well with the people who are going to vote on it. The District 2 race is not finished. So we have a lot of stuff that's in the air about what's happening here, and we need to make sure that we're considering what's going on when we're looking at the budget. These are taxpayer resources. Again, these resources don't come from your pocket. They come from the citizens. Thank you for yielding the floor.
Let me get your full name, Mr. Hill. Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. Reggie Hill.
Mr. President, one point of clarification. I understand the questions, but the comment about the city budgets to issue citations or tickets, that is false. There's no provision in the budget under any circumstance that the city of Mobile would budget to issue traffic citations to any member of the community.
Thank you for that clarification. Madam Clerk.
Point of clarification, Mr. President and Council, the District 2 race is done.
Thank you for the
It's just
clarification.
runoff of the mayor.
Thank you for the clarification. Madam Clerk.
Resolutions held over 08-1137, approved purchase order to Howard Industries for surveillance cameras. 08-1140, approved purchase order to Stivers Ford for Ford pickup truck. 08-1141 and 1142, approved purchase order to Sun South for John Deere Moores. 09-1145, authorized various amendments, reallocations, appropriations, and transfers to the fiscal year 2025 general fund budget. 09-1146, transfer funds from deferred revenues fund to capital account Copeland Cox Tennis Center in support of the United States Tennis Association grant. 21-1150, authorized contract with ProTech Video for deployment and management of technology training and consulting services. 21-1151, authorized contract with SPV Associates for services related to the implementation of the city's project management program. 21-1152, authorized contract with Tinker Imagineers for professional museum exhibit design, production, and installation services for the National Maritime Museum.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item pass.
21-1149, authorized contract with Port City Transit for services to operate city's transit system.
Motion to lay over 1 week.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item laid over for 1 week.
Ordinance is being introduced for the first time, 52-046 through 64-048.
Move to lay over for 1 week these ordinances as read. Rules.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 40-1155 through 2779.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consent of these to consider these resolutions as read.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
40-1155 through 1157, declare the structures at 1606 Katy Street, 270 Oak Drive, 506 Patton Avenue, public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 58-1158, declare weeds noxious, weedling group 1668. 60-1159 and 1160 are approving award of special bonus to the Parks and Recreation Employee of the Month and the Officer of the Month. 27-1176, 1177, and 1179 are authorizing contracts with Marsha Sewell, Iris Frazier, and Wanda Johnson for professional services for the 2025 municipal election. 03-1178, appoint Erna Winston to the Citizens Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 08-1161.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 08-1164.
No,
we're
we're not there yet. We're on CIP.
By council rule, this will lay over 1 week.
I'm sorry. I am ahead of myself. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01-1162 through 60-1172.
Now, move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 08-1164, 1165, 1167, 1168, 60-1172, and 13-1171.
Second.
Properly moved in second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Madam Clerk?
08-1164, approved purchase order to Dana Safety Supply for transport of Tahoe SUVs. 08-1165, approved purchase order to Online Consulting for pre-purchase of IT technology credits. 08-1167, approved purchase order to Taylor Power Systems for rental of emergency generator. 08-1168, approved purchase order to Rescue One Corp for inflatable rescue boats with trailer. 13-1171, authorized change order number 2 with Thompson Engineering for U.S. Highway 45 streetscape improvements. 60-1172, approved stipend for Captain James Cunningham for expenses accrued while attending the FBI National Academy.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second in the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed.
Call for public hearings. 41-1173, call for public hearing to consider the proposed modification of a previously approved plan unit development for property located at 4350 Moffett Road, scheduled October the 14th. 41-1174, call for public hearing to consider rezoning property located at 2602, 2610, 2612, 2614, and 2616 O'Shell Road and 1057 and 107 Item Avenue from R1 and B2 to B2, scheduled October 14th. 41-1175, call for public hearing to consider an amendment to the Downtown Development District Regulating Plan to rezone property located at 250 St. Francis Street from T5.1 to T5.2, scheduled October the 14th.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved in second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Public hearing is called.
Announcements.
Council, Ms. Brown had went out to speak to the citizen that came down here. She had given us the wrong address.
Yes, sir. She actually lives at 506 Patton. That is on the public hearing. She gave you the address that she currently lives in right now. She didn't know. When you asked for her address, she gave you her.
What is she?
She's talking to David about getting a permit for the property.
So do we need to go back and?
Yes, sir.
Motion to reconsider item 40-1157.
Second.
Okay, properly moved in second in discussion. Just go ahead and just give her the, what? 60 days. Yes. Okay.
Need a motion on, vote on the motion to reconsider.
No,
Call
this
for the
is public
question.
nuisance.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Madam Clerk?
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I'm just trying to catch up. 40-1157, declare the structure at 506 Patton Avenue a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Motion lay over 60 days.
okay. Second, properly moved in second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item
Thank you.
later. Okay, item later for 60 days, all right? All right, District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a great opportunity to attend the new Frederick Wynn College of Medicine Bean signing ceremony this past week. Congratulations to South Alabama. Just want to remind everybody that we have Convo with Corey every Tuesday. You can email council1@citymobile.org to sign up. And Saturday, September the 20th, we have the Youth NFL Flag Football League. You can sign up with Marcus Fluker at marcus.fluker@thecitymobile.org. This will be taking place at Sage Park from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Penn, District 2, Councilman Carroll.
No announcements, Mr. President.
All right, District 4, Councilman Reynolds. District 5, Councilman Days.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. As the City Council goes through the process approving the fiscal 2026 budget, I think it's appropriate to reflect on the improvement in the city of Mobile's financial picture over the past 12 years. And let me give you just a few points. The unassigned balance in the general fund, the city's operating account, has gone from $3.3 million operating and reserve on September 30, 2013 to $169,191,618 on July 30, 2025. This is comprised of $107,565,000 operating plus $58,626,000 in the reserve. That's an improvement of $166 million. The unfunded liability in the police and firefighter pension plan, as we discussed earlier today, has gone from $122 million at September 30, 2013 to $16 million on September 30, 2024, and should be paid off next year. The city's outstanding debt on September 30, 2013 was $311,090,944, and by September, $1,000. If we had not taken on new debt to build the new arena, the city's legacy debt would have been paid off by 2030. We would have been debt-free. In fiscal 2013, the city spent $25,568,770 on capital. That's roads, parks, drainage, rolling stock. In fiscal 2025, the city will spend $88,822,000. It's a $60 million increase. These capital improvements have enhanced the quality of life in every area of the city. I take no personal credit for this. This has been a joint achievement of the mayor, the city council, and the employees of the city of Mobile. As I leave office, it is my hope that future mayors and councils will be as faithful stewards of the public's money as their predecessors in the last 12 years have been. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman Days, for that information. It was some great news for the city of Mobile. All right. District 6, Councilman Woods.
Yes, Mr. President. Just quickly, just a reminder of the District 6 community meeting on September 18th at 5:30 at Oak Park Church off Solly. So I just wanted to put that out there again. Thank you.
District 7, Vice President Gregory.
No announcements.
All right, anything from the administration? All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?